So now you've talked to the seller agreed to accept an offer from you. So now what do? Here's the purchase and sale agreement. So this is what you guys will fill out and send to the seller. I usually use DocuSign to send to them. But if you actually have some on person with you when you're there talking to them and they're ready to sign right away, that's good as well. You can fill it out right there on the spot. It's good to carry some. It does create urgency, so you may want to carry a couple blank ones on you when you're going to check out properties and just try to get the deal locked up right there as soon as possible. But if you're doing virtual, remember you're going to have to use something to send to them. And like I said, I use DocuSign. So let's go over the contract. What's important that's in the contract? You want to make sure there's a purchase price. You want to make sure there's a closing date. You want to make sure there's an assignment clause, as well as some type of thing showing, property is subject to approval. Seller to give buyer unlimited access to property prior to closing for inspections and investor review. This is really important, guys. This allows you to always have access to the property. Hence, when you put on the lockbox, and the seller will understand, and if they bring up why do you need a lockbox, this is what you let them know. So let's go down and break it into it a little more deeper so you guys can actually get a feel for filling this thing out. So the purchase and sale agreement. So right here you want to make sure you put your name or your company's name, buyer and or assigns. You want to make sure the verbiage is there that says assigns. This lets the title company know what your exit strategy may be, and you can use this if you're flipping or if you're wholesaling, because it says buyer and or assigns. Assigns meaning you're assigning your rights over to your end buyer when you're wholesaling. And I'm going to show you guys how to fill out the assignment contract as well for your buyer. You want to make sure the property address is there with the legal description, the city and state, as well as what county's the property in. Now, here's the price that you put in here. So you write it out like you would write out a check. The cash offer wrote out in dollars, as well as the numbers. So you'll put like 100,000. Buyer understands the property is being purchased in as is condition. Buyer will pay the seller a non-refundable earnest money deposit. So I usually put NA here, or the 0 with a slash through it. Just because I let the buyer know, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, we are purchasing the property all cash. So we try to have one big expense at the end once the deal's closed, so our money isn't tied up. But if you're planning on flipping this property, it may be good for you to put 10, 50, $100 down, just to make sure you do have some, some skin in the game, so the seller can't walk out anytime or try to cause problems. You put the name of the title company that you talk to. Remember, it's good to build those relationships with title companies as soon as possible, and make sure the title company is an investor-friendly title company. We went over that. Contract agreement is subject to property inspection being approved. This just always gives you access to the property. Remember, because it has to be approved for your partners or buyers to go check the property out. Seller warrants the seller has good, clear, and marketable title. And this is just letting the seller know that the property has to be theirs for them to sell it. Sometimes you'll get someone trying to sell a property that's not solely theirs. They don't have 100% ownership. There could be other heirs involved, other relatives. Seller grants the buyer unrestricted right to terminate this agreement by giving notice of termination to the seller within, I usually slide anywhere from 10 to 15 days on there. You could put 30 days or something on there, and that's considered an option period. Remember, I just slide that in. Most of my sellers, they never care about anything except how much they're getting for the property and when the close date is. That's all they really care about, how much they're getting and when they're going to get their money. Buyer will pay all closing costs. I also put buyer will pay all closing costs. Buyer purchase property as is right here, just to assure them that they're getting what we say they're getting, and I'm taking care of all closing costs. This also helps them decide too. It's more of like a sales tactic we use, just to let them know, we're paying all closing costs. It's another thing we offer to them, so they don't have to worry about any realtor fees. They don't have to worry about any repairs. They don't have to worry about anything except any back taxes or liens they may have on the property. Time being of the essence, this agreement will be closed on or before date to close by. We always say time is of the essence. It just creates urgency for them to hurry up and get it signed if they want to close by this date. and be extended as necessary to complete all paperwork required. This protects us also so they aren't, nagging us about a close date when all the paperwork isn't done at the title company yet. And this could be a delay just because title needs certain documents from the potential seller, and the seller doesn't have all their ducks in a row. So you have to, let them know that, hey, because all the paperwork isn't there, you're slowing us down. So it does make them work with you. This offer terminates if not accepted or countered by, so you'll put a date there. This kind of creates urgency for the seller, letting them know, hey, if you don't accept this offer within 48 hours, we may not be able to purchase it. We purchase tons of property in the area. So we want to give you a window, so we aren't holding our money isn't sitting and we could go purchase another property. It just creates a sense of urgency for the seller to sign your offer and you could get things moving. Again, right here, the date of this agreement is the date the contract was accepted. You sign your name here, print your name or your company here. You date and sign. Seller hereby accepts the offer, so the seller would sign here. The seller would print their name, and you put the date there as well. So that's pretty much it, guys. And again, I'm going to show you guys how to use DocuSign to send this to the seller. Pretty simple, pretty easy, especially you have something here to reference. Always take some of the blank ones with you so you can fill out there on the spot if you're talking to the seller in person. If you're doing this virtually or internationally, you definitely want to have this loaded up in your DocuSign and ready to shoot offers as soon as sellers request. That way you can get more deals done. That's it, guys. Looking forward to showing you guys how to do the assignment contract with the buyer next.